it's Dave Joe Howe for the Boxing Voice. Pleased to be joined by European Cruiserweight Champion Tommy McCarthy. How are you, Tommy?
Peace. I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, anytime. Thanks for doing this as well. Have you injured your hand there, or?
Yeah, I broke about 3 weeks before the fight. I broke my hand sparring, and I knew it was broke, but the opportunity was just too big to turn down. And if I had to pull it, I don't know when I would have got an opportunity like this again. So I just had to, just bear the pain, and it was like a mind over matter thing. So after the fight, I went to the hospital to get it checked, and it confirmed what I already knew was that it was broke. So I got a plaster parts on, and I just got the plaster off today. Actually, I asked them could they put a splint on instead, because the plaster was just, it was so frustrating. Trying to get clothes and stuff on and get waxed. So they took the plaster off today and put the splint on.
No, that's good. I mean, it's been what, two and a bit weeks now since you've been crowned the champion. Talk me through the night when your name finally got announced as the champion. It was a big card as well, wasn't it? Usyk at heavyweight as well. So we'll talk about that in a second. But what was that like, being named European champion?
It was just, it was incredible. It is something that I've been working towards for a long time, and it's no secret that I have ambitions of being a world champion, and the Europe the European title is something that you need to win along the way. So to become champion of Europe is just, it's just such a big deal, and I was only the 15th Irish boxer in history, and I became the first black Irish boxer to win it. So it was just it was just a great feeling.
Yeah, I mean, the card as well had loads of um, drama, shall we just say, as well, with Usyk fighting at heavyweight. But one of the things you said, I believe, in your post-fight interview with Matchroom, and I think it might have been Sky Sports or Matchroom, was you wanted Briedis. Um, I mean, just looking at the landscape at the moment, you're ranked number 11th in the WBC. You're ranked number 12 in the IBF. So you're almost in the top 10 now. Realistically, when would you want someone like Briedis or Makabu, or when would you want these fighters?
I would like to fight them, either one of them next. That's who I want next. I want a world title shot, and as you say, I'm eligible in them two governing bodies. When the WBA and WBO comes out next month, I'm expecting to be in their rankings too. In the top 15. So any one of the major champions, that's who I want next. I said after my interview, I don't want to hang around the European level,
Mm.
and that's how I feel. I don't want to waste any more time. I got into the sport as a kid with ambitions to be a world champion, and if you look at anyone who wins the European title, usually their next fight is for the world title, and there's so many examples out there. Tony Bellew, when he won it, he fought Makabu next. So it would be great if I could fight Makabu next. Lawrence Okoli won it last year, and now he's fighting for the world title next. And even Audley Harrison, when he won it, he fought David Hay next. So um, that's the trajectory I'd like my career to take. And I called out Briedis because he's the number one in the division, and I want to be number one. So no matter what, if I was to win a world title, any other world title, they would still be calling Briedis the number one. So I want to go straight in.
Yeah, I mean, you're fair to say you've got these aspirations, and hopefully that fight can be made. I mean, looking at the fight with Lawrence Okoli and Glowacki, which is going to happen, I believe, on the undercard of AJ and Pulev. Do you see that as an easy fight for Okoli?
No, definitely not an easy fight. I think it's a very tough fight. Glowacki, he doesn't have a he don't have a nice style to look at. Neither does Okolie, but he's rough and he lets the hand go. So I think Okolie will win, but I think he's gonna have to he's gonna get pushed hard. And then that the winner of that fight, it would be great to get the winner of that as well.
Yeah, I was just going to say that'll be a very, very, very good fight. Both guys, you know each other. I take it as well, don't you? Have you had any sparring or anything before? Or because I know you were a bronze medalist before, weren't you, in the amateurs? And Lawrence took the Olympic route for.
No, Lawrence came on the scene after I had went pro.
Mhm.
Um, I know he was late on the international scene, so I turned pro in 2014,
Mhm.
and then Okolie he kind of made his name then on the international scene.
Yeah, it'll be a great fight for you if you guys do get it on though, maybe next year and stuff. But who knows? You could be fighting Briedis, which will be awesome as well. To be fair, what did you think of Usyk at heavyweight? Did you think he carried himself well? I take it you stayed on to watch the fight, didn't you, with Chisora that night?
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I thought he looked good. Um, but the thing is, everyone on the show, everyone had been out for a year. Do you know what I mean? So everyone had a wee bit of element of ring rust, and Usyk said that after he he didn't rate his performance highly, but I thought he looked good. He had all the moves, and Chisora ran him close. It was another case of um Chisora just making it ugly for a second there, and the scorecard showed 115, 113 on two judges. So I think Chisora was he's just a tough opponent, but somebody who doesn't box again would Usyk would handle him a lot easier, I think. So he's still a force to be reckoned with in the heavyweight division.
Yeah, I mean the latest news this week as well was about the new Bridgerweight. Did you see that
Mm.
from WBC?
Yeah,
Interesting weight, isn't it? Because it's a brand new belt, and then some cynics might say that's more money for the WBC in terms of sanctioning fees. But from you being a cruiserweight, do you think that weight class is kind of needed because it's in between the heavyweight and the cruiserweight, isn't it? Or
no, I think it was the wrong weight to make because anybody who's 220 pounds, they're big enough to be a heavyweight. So I don't think that weight was needed, but the weight between light heavyweight and cruiserweight that should have been made because
yeah,
that's the one that people are struggling with. There's a lot of guys out there who are simply too big for light heavyweight, but they're too small for cruiserweight. So I think the Bridgerweight should have been in between because it's a 25 pound gap. Do you know what I mean? So
mm,
they should have made it in between light heavy and cruiser, which I thought was the initial idea. But I think the weight in between cruiser and heavy is just there's no need for it. With anybody who's too big for cruiser, they wanna fight it heavy anyway. That's where the money is. Everyone who's at cruiserweight who has who's getting too big for it, or even the guys who can't make it, they all want to go on the heavyweight to make the big dough. So
yeah. I mean,
uh,
a lot of cruiserweights as well, like David Hay, Evander Holyfield, two of the most successful cruiserweights of all time. They found their goal in life at heavyweight, didn't they? And
yeah,
yeah,
and the like Usyk, do you honestly think Usyk's no interest in Bridgerweight? Usyk could make cruiserweight if he wanted, but he wants to. Everyone wants to be heavyweight champion. It's the most coveted praise in sport. So even I see Michael Hunter tweeting about it as well. Like he's a small heavyweight, but he wants to be a heavyweight. Nobody wants to be Bridgerweight.
mm. I mean, for that weight division to kick off, you need some sort of big fight straight away, don't you, for the vacant belt?
Yeah, yeah,
And we'll see if the other governing bodies follow suit as well with this, because there's been no talks of IBF or WBA or even like EBU or anything. To be fair,
yeah. Nobody's getting on board with it. So, like you say, you'll need a couple of high-profile names to fight for a Bridgerweight title for to get credibility. But I think they're going to struggle with it because the cruiserweights, people at cruiserweight can make the weight, so they don't need a weight in between heavyweight. And anyone who can't make the weight, they want to fight. They want to be in the luxury division. So I don't. I think it's destined to fail that way.
we'll see how that one goes. All being well with your hand healing and so on and so forth. How's it like over in Belfast in terms of training, lockdown? What are things like over there?
Well, we've been in lockdown for the past 4 weeks, I think it is, and we're just waiting. Right, tonight's the deadline to find out what changes are being made tomorrow. So the public's in the dark. A lot of people are getting upset with the handling of it by the Northern Ireland executive. So I don't know what way things are gonna go. And then in Dublin, because I train out of Dublin, they're in lockdown as well. So it just everything kind of worked out perfectly for me because when the lockdown came into play, it was my last week of camp, so I was okay. Like all the work had been done, but you can't train in the gyms, and so everyone's it's a mess. So,
Yes, it's really affecting the pros. I mean, I think part of it as well. This is could be a reason why we've had some upsets this year. I mean, some of the MTK card last night as well. There was a young fighter on there who wasn't expected to just cruise through it, but he was clear favourite. But he lost, so that's his first pro loss. That was in Dabasi.
yeah, I seen it last
Yeah.
night. Yeah.
And Teofimo Lopez beating Lomachenko. Some people are now saying that could be seen as an upset as well. There was a card back over in Newcastle for Matchroom where three of the top talents, including Joe Laws, he lost as well. So it's one of those crazy years, isn't it, for boxing upsets? And maybe with gyms being closed, you can't count the other guy out, can you? When I mean the other guy, as in someone who's not the
Yeah,
favourite.
the opponents. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. It's a people because they don't know what's happening. People are losing their focus, and you have to be like extremely disciplined to keep training as if you're fighting without a date. And that's one of the things that stood by me. I from the lockdown, I've been in camp, like just waiting on the phone ring, and some guys are getting late notice calls, and they're not ready, but they can't say no because they don't know when they're going to get another opportunity. So when the phone goes, even if they're not ready, they're taking fights against guys who are opponents who've just been training the whole time, and there's why these upsets are happening.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? You can't even. I mean, speaking of a massive fight that's happening this weekend, I take it you'll be watching against Kell Brook versus Terence Crawford.
Yeah.
Not the weight class you're used to, but as a fan, you'll be watching. I mean, how do you see that one going down, Tommy?
I think it's going to be a good fight. A lot of people writing off Kell Brook, but Kell Brook is an unbelievable boxer, and he always digs deep and raises to the occasion. So we know how good Crawford is. We know he's the next level, but it's not going to be plain sailing for him. I think Crawford's going to win, but I think it's going to be a good fight.
Yeah, hopefully it is a good one. And have you been keeping an eye on Isaac Chamberlain because he's returned after a long sort of hiatus out of the sport as well through not fighting for a while? Have you been looking at his journey so far?
No, yeah, no, he done. I saw he was I watched the fights on Channel 5 because it's on TV, but he's just fighting journeyman. So
Something that doesn't interest you down the line. You're looking at the bigger sort of world title fights now, yeah?
yeah, that's like on the I'm on the world level now, European champion. So my last two fights have been major shows, and I'm looking to fight. I'm looking to be a world champion. I have no interest in trying to build records or Mickey Mouse fights.
Yeah,
Just straight titles all the time.
no, that's good to know. So no more grudge matches or anything. Straight into world title shots. And very finally, then, Tommy, have you got a message for all the fans, and where can people get more of you?
Just keep on supporting, please. It's much appreciated. If you're not supporting and you're hating, hate harder, and you can get me on social media, Tommy Mac90 on all platforms.
Good stuff. Tommy, all the best, mate, from the Boxing Voice, and we wish you luck, and hopefully your hand heals soon, and we'll see you soon in action.
Yes, thanks very much. All right.
So if you enjoyed the video, feel free to hit the like, subscribe, and share. As always, if you want to support us to the next level, head over to the patreon.com/ThaBoxingVoice. We have tons of exclusive from Border Wars, Entitled, betting shows, the list goes on and on and on. But in addition to that, if you guys have questions for fighters, trainers, and promoters, this is where you can submit them. We will run out, get these questions answered, and put it back on the show just for you guys. Appreciate it. Peace.